If you have ringing in your ears from service and you have not filed for tinnitus yet, you need to hear this. Right now, the VA still rates recurrent tinnitus as a standalone 10% disability under Diagnostic Code 6260. That rule is still in effect today, but the VA has proposed removing that diagnostic code entirely. If that proposal becomes final, the simple standalone pathway that exists right now may not be there the same way tomorrow. I am not telling you to panic. I am telling you to prepare. Because if you truly have service-connected tinnitus, waiting could make this claim harder to win down the road. I have spent years helping veterans navigate the VA claims process. In this video, I'm going to walk you through three things. First, what the current tinnitus rating rule actually says and how it works right now. Second, what the VA proposed in 2022 and what that change could mean if it becomes final. And third, what you should do before any rule change takes effect, how to protect your effective date, what evidence matters, and how to connect the dots between your service and your symptoms. This is not hype. This is not fear. This is preparation. Because the veterans who file correctly now, while the current rule is still in place, will lock in their effective date under the existing standard. The veterans who wait may face a different set of criteria. Let's break it down. The current tinnitus rule. Here's what the law says right now. Recurrent tinnitus is rated under Title 38, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 4.87, Diagnostic Code 6260. The current regulation assigns 110% evaluation for recurrent tinnitus, whether the sound is perceived in one ear, both ears, or in your head. That means if you have constant ringing, buzzing, hissing, roaring, or clicking that started in service or got worse because of service, you can file for tinnitus as a separate standalone claim. And if the VA grants it, you get 10%. Now, a lot of veterans misunderstand this rule. So let me clear up three common mistakes right now. Mistake number one, bilateral tinnitus does not mean 20%. The regulation is clear, 110% evaluation, even if you hear it in both ears. Mistake number two, tinnitus and hearing loss are not the same thing. You can have tinnitus without compensable hearing loss. You can have hearing loss without tinnitus. They are separate conditions. They can be rated separately. Mistake number three, your MOS alone does not prove the claim. Yes, noise exposure matters, but the VA still needs three things: a current diagnosis of tinnitus, evidence of a noise event or noise exposure in service, and a medical nexus linking the two. Under the current rule, if you meet those three elements, you can get a standalone 10% rating for tinnitus under DC 6260. That rule is still in effect today, but it may not stay that way. The proposed change in 2022, the VA published a proposed rule in the Federal Register to update the rating schedule for ear, nose, throat, and audiology disabilities. In that proposed rule, the VA specifically stated that it proposed to remove Diagnostic Code 62260. Now, let me be very clear about what that means and what it does not mean. What it does not mean the rule has already changed. As of today, May 2026, the current ECFR still lists recurrent tinnitus under DC 6260 at 10%. The standalone rating still exists. It does not mean tinnitus claims are automatically denied. Veterans are still filing and winning tinnitus claims right now under the current rule. What it does mean, if the VA finalizes this proposed change, tinnitus would no longer have the same direct standalone 10% rating path. Instead, tinnitus would likely be evaluated as part of the underlying condition causing it: hearing loss, vestibular disorders, Meniere's disease, traumatic brain injury, or another related condition, depending on the facts of the case. That does not mean tinnitus disappears. It means the pathway changes. And here's why that matters. Right now, if you file for tinnitus and you meet the three elements, the VA rates it under DC 6260. Simple, standalone, 10%. If the rule changes, the VA may require you to prove tinnitus as a symptom of something else. That could mean more evidence, more complexity, more room for denial. And here is the part a lot of veterans miss. Your effective date is based on when you file your intent to file or your formal claim, whichever comes first. If you file now while the current rule is still in place, your claim gets evaluated under the current standard. And if you win, your effective date locks in under that rule. If you wait until after a final rule change, your claim may be evaluated under the new criteria, and your effective date starts from whenever you finally file. That is not panic. That is how the system works. What veterans get wrong about tinnitus claims. Let me walk you through the mistakes I see veterans make with tinnitus claims. Because even under the current rule, a lot of claims get denied, not because the veteran does not have tinnitus, but because the claim was not built correctly. Mistake number one, veterans wait because they think tinnitus is only 10%. 10% may not sound like much, but it is still compensation. It is still service connection, and it can still be combined with other ratings. More importantly, if you wait and the rule changes, you may lose the simple path that exists today. Mistake number two, veterans say, I have ringing, but they do not explain onset, continuity, frequency, or functional impact. The VA needs to know when it started, how often it happens, what makes it worse, how it affects your sleep, your concentration, your ability to work or function. If your evidence just says veteran reports tinnitus, that is not enough. Mistake number three, veterans assume their service records will prove everything. A lot of veterans never complained about tinnitus while they were on active duty. They were young, they were mission focused, they did not want to look weak. But decades later, the ringing is still there, and now they are trying to file. The VA does not automatically deny claims just because you did not complain in service, but you do need to explain why, and you need to build a strong nexus. Mistake number four, veterans confuse tinnitus with hearing loss. Tinnitus is a separate condition. You can have both. You can have one without the other. Do not assume the VA will automatically connect them. Mistake number five, veterans do not protect their effective date with an intent to file. If you are not ready to file the full claim yet, file an intent to file. That locks in your effective date for 1 year while you gather evidence. If you wait, you lose retroactive pay for every month you delay. What to do before any rule change takes effect. Here is your action plan. Step 1. Protect your effective date. If you have not filed yet, file an intent to file today. That gives you 1 year to build your claim while locking in your effective date. You can file an intent to file online through VA.gov. It takes 5 minutes. Step 2. Document your symptoms clearly. Write down when the tinnitus started, what you were doing in service that caused or contributed to it, how often you experience it, what it sounds like, what makes it worse, how it affects your sleep, your focus, your ability to work or relax. Be specific, be honest, be thorough. Step 3, get a current diagnosis. The VA needs a current diagnosis of tinnitus. That can come from a VA provider, a private audiologist, or your primary care doctor. If you have not been formally diagnosed yet, schedule an appointment. Step 4, identify your in-service noise exposure. What was your MOS? What equipment did you work around? Weapons, aircraft, engines, generators, heavy machinery? Did you deploy to a combat zone? Were you exposed to explosions, gunfire, or other loud noise events? Write it down. Be specific about the noise sources and the time periods. Step 5, connect the dots with a nexus. The VA needs a medical opinion linking your current tinnitus to your in-service noise exposure. If your VA provider will not write one, you may need a private nexus letter from a qualified medical professional. The nexus should explain that it is at least as likely as not that your current tinnitus is related to your military service. Step 6, file your claim before any final rule change takes effect. Right now, the current rule is still in place. File while that is still true. If you wait and the rule changes, you may face a harder path. Let me recap what we covered. The standalone 10% tinnitus rating under Diagnostic Code 6260 still exists today, but the VA has proposed removing that diagnostic code. If the proposal becomes final, tinnitus may be evaluated as part of an underlying condition instead of as a separate standalone rating. That does not mean tinnitus claims will disappear. It means the pathway may change. And if you wait, you may lose the simpler path that exists right now. So here is your challenge. In the next 48 hours, do one of these 3 things. 1, file an intent to file to protect your effective date. 2, schedule an appointment to get a current diagnosis of tinnitus if you do not have one yet. 3, write down your in-service noise exposure and your current symptoms in detail. Pick one. Do it. Move forward, because the veterans who prepare now will be in a stronger position than the veterans who wait. If this video helped you understand the tinnitus rating rule and what you need to do next, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this video with another veteran who may have tinnitus or who may be confused about the proposed VA rating changes. In the next video, we are going to cover the proposed 2026 sleep apnea rating rules and what kind of evidence veterans may need under the stricter criteria. And if you already have a VA decision letter and you do not understand what the VA is saying, go to veteranclaimsmadeeasy.com and use the free VA letter translator. Thank you for your service. My goal is never to mislead, only to empower you with accurate, honest, and actionable information.